What's going on with y'all? It's Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Ball Sports Network, and today, I've kind of been slacking on this, but I'm finally ready to talk about it. How Lamar Jackson of the Baltimore Ravens is essentially changing the perception of black quarterbacks forever, right? Like he's essentially, but I'm not necessarily just black quarterbacks, but just quarterbacks in general, just allowing kids growing up, kids for the future generation, to say that you can be yourself, be as authentic as possible, no matter what background you're from, and still have success at the NFL. Now, we kind of saw this with Michael Vick. So ESPN did the 30 for 30, their two-part series about Michael Vick, the documentary, and I loved every bit of it. It really just showed how talented he was in college, how that translated into the NFL, but how he let a lot of his demons from where he's from and a lot of the people that he was hanging out with lead to his downfall, right? Like cost him 2 years of his life in prison, and then how he was able to overcome that and gain his second $100 million deal in the NFL. Now that is just, if you don't think that's remarkable, then you don't know sports, you don't love sports. Now, but with Lamar Jackson, it's a little different. Now, Michael Vick essentially brought hip-hop, is kind of what I want to call it, is what some of the people in his documentary called it, to the NFL, right at the quarterback position. Because most quarterbacks, when you think of NFL quarterbacks, you think of Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and, the guys that are statues and that handle themselves correctly at the podium and that dress a certain way, that look a certain way. But Vic was different, right? Like Vic, dressed like a recording artist, like T.I., like Ludacris, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, those were the guys in Atlanta at the time, and that's who he represented. He represented a people from the inner city, and that's essentially what Lamar Jackson is doing. Lamar Jackson, but the difference between Lamar and Vic is that Lamar is showing more dedication to the game, right? Like, he actually studies, right? They don't send him blank tapes home, and he come back saying he learned everything. Like, that's what they did with Vic. They would send him blank tapes to study, and he'd come back and say, yeah, I learned everything. There was nothing on it, right? Like, that's the way, but that was where Michael Vick even admitted that he messed up. Like, Lamar's not like that. Lamar, we saw in year one what weaknesses he had. Where he lost in the playoff game. Let's remember, he made it all the way to the playoffs, 7-1 down the stretch, and lost in the playoffs, and people were just ripping him to shreds because of whatever reason. Came back and won an MVP, unanimous MVP, not to mention only the second time ever in the history of the NFL, unanimous MVP. So he was able to do that. So we know he's dedicated to the game, right? So with that, and he talks a certain way. Like he speaks like he's well educated, obviously, but he sounds like, you know what I'm saying, that kid from the inner city still, right? Like, he doesn't sound dumb or slow, but he still sounds like Lamar. He's not trying to talk a certain kind of way and trying to be an established, no, he's still Lamar Jackson. He's still from Pompano, right? From South Florida. And that's what's so beautiful, to watch him to continue to have success at the highest level of football and to remain him, wearing the plaits, the shades on the sideline, the sniper gang chains before and after the games, him and Hollywood Brown rocking grills and stuff. Like, that is so authentic, and it's so beautiful to watch, because at the end of the day, he gets his job done. And now all we want is him to take that next step and win a Super Bowl. And I think he will be the reason. Everybody's talking about this Patrick Mahomes dynasty and all that. And people that don't believe it'll happen is because of the salary cap. No, I'm here to tell you the reason why Patrick Mahomes dynasty won't happen is because of number 8 in Baltimore. Lamar Jackson, combined with John Harbaugh and Greg Roman, for as long as they can keep him, will prevent Patrick Mahomes from having a dynasty. And he will continue to bring hip-hop to the NFL in a winning way, in a way that's organic, in a way that works, in a way that's beautiful, in a way that sees him to continue to progress as a quarterback and continue to progress as one of the best players in the entire league. We're talking about the unanimous MVP. And I don't know, the last black quarterback to win MVP the very next year won the Super Bowl. That's Patrick Mahomes. And so now I'm looking for similar, if not the same, results for Lamar Jackson, because I think what he's doing right now is transcending football. You can't teach his athleticism, right? But you can teach his work ethic. You can show kids back wherever you're from, whether it's California, Texas, Kentucky, Florida, you can show, like, hey, this guy wasn't highly recruited, 3 stars. This guy had extreme talent, won a Heisman at Louisville. I never won a Heisman before. There's never been a Heisman Trophy winner at Louisville. Trust me, I know. I'm from there. Won a Heisman at Louisville. They were telling me he should change positions, and by his second year, had a unanimous MVP. All while wearing dreads and wearing plaits and wearing shades on the sideline and rocking Sniper Gang chains. You know what I'm saying? Like, all while doing all of it, right? And he stayed true to himself, and that's what's so beautiful. I'm rooting for Lamar. I really think that he will be a Super Bowl champion within the next 2 to 3 years, and I think he has revolutionized the game of football and the NFL with the quarterback position, with the way he carries himself. Once again, my name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Ball Sports Network. Continue to hit the thumbs up button, like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.